Hope you're all still awake. Late Night Mega here, and we're still in Gagazet. And we're still working on the sphere grid, at least for a few of the characters. Oh, agility. That's nice. You need that. And Yuna just needs 4 more moves. 4 more moves and we can get her holy. That'll be great. Alright, well then, let's carry onward. Now it's the big show. Always coming back for more. Why don't you just officially retire already? Oh, that joke's going to be dated. Well, that didn't work. And now we just got hit with the tombstone pile driver. Great. Well, Lulu needs a turn. Although she actually survived that time. Kumari needs a turn. Yeah, use water duh. It really doesn't matter what element you use. Huh. Well, even with his magic plus 30% boost, and Lulu only has plus 10%, Lulu is now out-damaging Kumari. For a little while there, Kumari was out-damaging Lulu. Yeah, well, we have plenty of Phoenix Downs. I don't want to burn through all of Yuna's MP, and life is kind of an expensive spell. Waka waka boom! Yeah! And, oh, Kumari got a level. We can do that. I especially want to do that for Kumari, because this is kind of a big level here. You get HP boost, and you get Faraga and Blizzaga. Yeah, very important level. Yeah, let's cure up a little bit. That'll be fine, and we're at where we killed the last boss. And more cutscenes.
A city dead for 1,000 years.
It's kind of a breathtaking and kind of a creepy view at the same time. Ooh, the fancy cutscene.
The last chapter in my story.
What, are you the authors of pain now?
My thoughts, they kept floating up and then slipping through my fingers. Slipping away before I could pin them down with words.
Yuna, I say no. If we go down there, then you'll...
All this no, no, no. Why don't we just put Sin in the yes lock or something?
You're a true friend, and I thank you, but... I must go. Down to Zanarkand. I'm not saying we shouldn't go. But should we think about it some more? There's gotta be some kind of way we can save you, Yuna!
You've had like the last, I don't know, 20 parts to think.
Yuni. Thank you.
Oh.
Riku.
Yuna, you dropped a sphere. Intentionally. Oh, they're hugging it out.
Don't say that, Yuni. It's not over yet.
And there's Yuna's theme music.
Tell Sid. Thank you.
I love that theme music.
No. You can tell
Once
him
again,
yourself.
theme music. Pro wrestling. Ha!
Please. Yuni, don't say that because we're gonna see each other again, okay? Kimari, let's go.
That sphere thing. Titus is gonna pick it up. Everyone else is just gonna go on ahead. Remember what happened last time you did this, Titus? Well, Seymour's dead now, so I guess that doesn't matter. Isn't it supposed to be like a video that you watch?
Sir Orin,
Whatever,
Kimari
it's a
told
sphere.
me
Everything's a
when my
sphere.
father wanted me taken from Bavel to Besaid, it was you who told Kimari, right? I had always wanted to meet you someday. I am truly glad that I had that chance. Having you as a
Hey,
guardian
you're
was
about the
so
only one.
great an honor. I don't know
Well, I
how
guess
to thank
Waka
you.
too.
Perhaps if I defeat Sin, that will be my thanks to you. That's what I'll do. Yes,
I would thank him
I
if he
will
told us the
challenge Sin.
plot,
I will
I don't know,
defeat
20,
Sin.
40 parts
If you
ago.
are all there watching this, then I guess Sin is already gone. And
No,
so am
that's
I,
not true yet.
I suppose.
That's not true either.
Anyway,
We're watching it right
I just
now.
wanted to say, Sir Orin,
I don't think we were intended to pick this up and watch
I
this.
thank you. Kimari, do you remember the first day we met? I was only 7. My father had defeated Sin, and all Bavel was celebrating.
Okay, so
Everyone
7,
was
so it's been
saying what a
10
hero
years
my
since the
father
last
was.
calm, so
I was so happy.
Yuna's about
when
17,
night came,
18.
It occurred to me. My father had defeated Sin, and now he was dead. Now I was all alone. I couldn't sleep. So I wandered into the town, away from the celebrating crowds. I stood on the bridge in Bavel, where my father and I had parted. Standing there, alone, I could see the fields where he had fought Sin. Then, you appeared, Kimari. You said you were looking for the daughter of Braska, remember? At first, I was so scared. Until I realized what a gentle person you are.
I don't think that's a person.
You weren't used to talking to children. When I told
I
you
could
that
imagine
I was
that.
Braska's daughter, you said you would take me as far from Bavel as you could. That it was the wish of a man facing death. I think I cried then, because that was when I knew my father was dead.
Wait, didn't you
And
just
I
get done
would
saying
never
that
see
you already
him
knew
again.
he was dead?
You just held me, without saying a word.
And now you realized it a second
I
time?
cried after we got to Besaid, too.
Never mind, that's
When you
hardly the
tried to
biggest
go,
plot hole in this
After
game.
leaving me in the care of the temple, I held on to you crying, "Don't go, don't go." And you listened, Kimari. You stayed. Kimari, thank you. Thank you so much. And I've always liked your broken horn. Waka, Lulu,
You mean
I'll never forget my days
Lulu.
spent with you. Growing up in Besaid, we always played together, us and Chapu. That's
Chapu.
why I was always
That's
so
a funny
happy,
name,
I
too.
think. And when you refused to let me become a summoner, and I did it anyway,
Although it still
I'm
doesn't
sorry.
make sense. How could
always
she have
wanted
grown
to
up with
apologize.
Waka and Lulu?
you know, when you tried
But
to
yet,
stop me then,
Waka and Lulu
really,
ventured out
I was
and
happy. I could tell you
traveled
really
with another summoner
cared about me.
before coming
You
back
were
to
like
Besaid and so
my
where
big
does that
brother and
fit in
sister.
this timeline?
No, I think You really were my big brother and sister.
And how could they have grown up together? So they
What
would have
else?
had to have been close to the same age if she was 7 at
I
the
love
time.
watching you play blitzball,
You know,
Waka.
maybe Waka and Lulu a little bit older.
I even love it when you scold me, Lulu.
But you can't say you grew up with them if they were that much
Really?
older than you. And since the calm
I
just
guess that leaves
kind of
the newest
ended
guardian.
before,
Stark
you know, you
of the
started your
Zanarkand
adventure
Fates.
in that,
You are.
where was the time where Waka and Lulu
I-
went and
What?
traveled with this other guardian, or this other summoner?
I'm glad. I'm glad that we met. We haven't even known each other that long, but it's
She's
funny.
talking about Titus.
So this is what it feels like. It's a much more wonderful feeling than anything I had ever imagined.
I would just say it, you're in love.
But it hurts sometimes.
And this was back at that one place before we... before or
wonder-
after we fought that Chocobo Eater. Yeah, quite a long time
I just
ago.
want to say thank you for everything.
And she was watching the sunset. And
Maybe that's why
And-
it hurts.
Titus.
When I think about us never being together again at all.
And that's your cue. Come on. There you go.
No, I shouldn't say that. I'll do that part over.
And then this is where we came up.
What you up to?
And she stopped the recording. Interesting. Interesting to hear things from Yuna's perspective. But remember, that was Yuna's perspective way back at... Was that Mihen High Road? Yeah, Mihen High Road, just after Luca. That's a cool view. Doesn't seem too relevant. But again, I'm just kind of scoping for items, just kind of take in this view. It's very well designed. At least in my opinion, I like it. Then again, graphic-wise, I'm fairly easy to please. Oh, we caught up to everyone else. Hey. This is the opening scene. It took us 60 parts to get to the opening scene. So this entire game, up until this point, has been a giant flashback. When I first found this out, I was kind of frustrated and upset at this fact. I don't know, it just felt like a lot of that adventure was kind of pointless because it was basically just going through their memories. But in retrospect, it's not, I guess it's not all that bad. I mean, they told, it's his story. It's her story. It's their story. And that's what they were telling us. It also kind of makes sense why there's been such a huge amount of cutscenes in this game. I mean, I swear, like, half of this whole adventure was all cutscenes. And from that sort of perspective, it makes sense. It makes sense that we have more cutscenes than we do, like, gameplay and dungeon traveling elements. I like this music too. Again, I do really like the music for Final Fantasy X. It just feels, it has a different feel from the rest of the Final Fantasy games.
Listen to my story.
And yeah, we have.
This
We've
may
played
be
your
our
story
last chance.
for the last 60 episodes. I mean, the music is in this game tends to be more somber and calm and well orchestrated, well designed. I don't know. I don't know the proper music terminology,
Hey,
but
there was more, right? I mean, like that time. Anyone?
yeah.
I think...
Yes?
I think that we should stop. Maybe. For now.
All right, so we told all our stories. I like the Brotherhood sword there.
Let's go.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Final Fantasy X does have a few tracks that are like very upbeat and fast-paced and kind of more impactful style of music. But overall, a lot of it is kind of just like slow, somber. You know, it just feels like a lot of people coming to the realization of this is what the world of Final Fantasy X is. This is how it is. This is the system we have for beating Sin. This is the issue of Spira. And we're all just kind of cogs going along the tracks here. There's not much else we can do except just carry on. Wakka's confused. That could go badly. Especially because it's his turn next. So, let's smack him with Yuna's weapon. It won't do that much damage. Yeah, 25. I'm not worried about that. Flame Ball! But yeah, we don't even have our normal battle music. We have this music. Very nice touch for this area. Very fitting for... Can I call this the final dungeon now? Yeah, why not? I'll call it the final dungeon before the final sequence. How's that? That's not vague at all. Kind of like, well, this isn't going to have the grand scale that it did in Final Fantasy XII, but kind of like the Pharos Tower. Where that was kind of like the final dungeon, but you had another area that you would kind of travel in when you got to the Bahamut's airship. But it wasn't really a dungeon. There wasn't really a save point once you selected to go to the Bahamut airship. You just kind of started the final sequence and just watched as the game played out and participated in the battles and such. And we're actually going to get that same sort of thing here in Final Fantasy X. We'll have a final sequence that we can choose to initiate whenever we want. And then that'll give us the whole ending and final battles and all that. But, we're not there yet. We need Yuna to get a turn. And back to Wakka. Wakka Wakka Boom. Yeah, see how much more damage he's doing with that strength boosting switch hitter? That's plus 13 strength, as opposed to before when you just had the capture ball that, yeah, the Pokeball. He would be doing like 3,000 to 4,000 damage. That's quite a boost.
Looks like the VOD plane.
Close enough.
Okay. Just traveling along, an automatic cutscene. Now I go back here just because the cutscene kind of warped us a little farther ahead. Wanted to make sure there wasn't a treasure. There's not, but there is a battle here. Oh look, it's the world's strongest blob. Yeah, we can fight this thing. Although the people I need to be getting turns are all the mages. And Waka. Yeah, Demi? No, don't do that. That's terrible. Instant regret. See, that's what you should have done, Lulu. Well, now Yuna has something to do. She can use her pray command here. We're still not that hurt, at least not for the monsters we're fighting now, which are the same monsters we've been fighting the past few episodes, but like, we've grown more comfortable in fighting them.
Farewell. That's
Well, there
how
we
it's
go.
done.
This is actually kind of a long path to get to the Zanarkand temple ruins, which is where we're going. Although it is kind of neat how Zanarkand is the ultimate destination of the Summoner's Pilgrimage. I don't know why, but it kind of ties everything together nicely with how we started our journey as Titus, and with all those faith that are preserving the memories of Zanarkand before Sin destroyed it. And hey, using the silence ball worked. Yeah, because he would have tried to cast some sort of spell there, and that blocked him. So yeah, that's another strategy you can do for this. And Yuna needs to come out. She can probably just pray again. Yeah. And didn't quite get there, but, well, if that's how you're gonna spend your turn.
That's how it's done.
Orin, you were obnoxious. Well, there are a few treasures along the way. Spiritual Targe, that's... no, he has shields. It's Riku's. MP Stroll. Past gameplay me is confused because he doesn't know what that does, but I do end up looking it up later on. And we can actually customize that ability onto stuff. I don't remember what you need to customize it, but MP Stroll, basically whenever you take steps, you recover your MP. Steps being outside of battle. And there's an HP Stroll that does the same thing, but for HP. I'm not going to use them. Very rarely have I ever felt that I'm short on MP. There were a couple times with Lulu and a little bit with Kamari where I had to kind of conserve some MP, but beyond that, it hasn't been that difficult of an adventure as far as our MP consumption is concerned. This game has been very generous with giving us save points, especially giving us save points like immediately before boss battles. So it makes things very beginner friendly. I think I've mentioned this before, that this is a good Final Fantasy if it is your first Final Fantasy. And that's one of the many reasons. Because trust me, it is super frustrating if you're traveling through a deep dungeon, playing for 25-30 minutes, you run into a boss, and the boss kills you, and you have to do all of that playing again just to re-challenge the boss. Whereas with Final Fantasy X, and this isn't the only Final Fantasy to do that, but Final Fantasy X, it seems to become a very noticeable pattern where there's a save point like immediately before any given boss. And we're at the end of the game, and it's still happening. It just happened in the last video. So yeah, it makes things very beginner friendly. So when you do run into those tough bosses, and you do get a game over, you know, you spawn right next to the boss. You haven't really lost any progress, and that's very nice. Just not only just for beginner players, newer RPG players, but just in general, it's a very nice design. Because a lot of times, the first time you fight a boss, you don't really know what it's going to do, you don't really know its weakness, you don't really know the best battle plan. You kind of have to fight it for a little bit and figure out what works, figure out like if it has counterattacks, if you want to prepare for that, if it's going to use a certain element that you can nullify, you know, maybe switch some equipment. So yeah, it's very nice. Ooh, we're at the beginning of the runes. We have a save point. Not to save because all I did was walk a long ways.
Journeyer of the long road, name yourself.
I am the summoner Yuna. I have come from the island of Besaid.
Your eyes, my dear, show me the long road you have traveled.
How could you get that from
Very
looking
good.
at our...
You have journeyed well.
How would
Lady
you...
Yunaleska will surely welcome your arrival.
You know what, never
Go
mind.
to her now, and bring your guardians with you. Go.
Yes.
Alright, well, here we are. Okay, I changed my mind. I want to go back and save. The music just shifted. There's a save point here. I just got done talking about bosses immediately after save points. So yeah, we're going to do this little bit of sphere gridding. Very little bit of sphere gridding. Someone get something. Kamari, I can count on you. And Lulu has a move. Actually, every step Lulu takes is going to get her something, at least until we reach Flare. Very good. Alright, I'll drop a save, and I'll see you guys next time.